Hi, my name's Aaron. I am a graduate teaching assistant at Florida Atlantic University, and this is my first attempt at any type of vlog. It's kind of interesting. I've got other videos on this channel, obviously, but they've been like videos I started doing to help my students during the pandemic. And part of being a graduate student in English is that, to help with the funding issues, I teach English classes here on campus, and I teach the first year students English. And I've always liked doing it. This year has been really great. I got a chance to teach two different classes that I normally teach. I got to teach a community workshop class with people who are older, and I got to teach them creative writing, focusing mostly on prose, and which is great because I'm here at FAU for creative writing specifically. Now, the other class I got to teach was a creative writing class, but for undergraduates. So, most of my students are second and third year students, a couple first years, a couple seniors, but they're students who are interested in getting an introductory feel about what it means to be a creative writer. First half of the semester, we focused on poetry. Second half, we focused on prose. Right now, we're doing the prose writing section. And I've got to be honest, I'm much more comfortable teaching poetry. It's what I know. And I really like poetry, but I've written quite a bit of, prose, and so I teach that too. However, normally I teach first year composition, and so I also had a first year composition course this year, and it's ending. Why? Simple. It's Thanksgiving break. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. I went to a friend's house, had delicious Thanksgiving dinner, and then today's the day after Thanksgiving. I'm kind of procrastinating a little bit, but essentially I'm going to be, I've got translation homework I got to do tonight. That's what I got to do. But I'm not really procrastinating. I'm still working. Even though it's the day after Thanksgiving, I'm still working because that's what I got to do. They sent me my class schedule for next semester, and I knew it would only be first year comp, but this time it's actually the first half of first year comp. It's not the second half. And so I'm really excited about that, mostly because I like the first half better than the second half. The first half, it's just funner for some reason. The second half kids are bored out of their minds. They've already done it once. They hate it. They don't want to do it again. They're going like, why do we have to do a whole year of English? Little realizing that the entire planet, takes two semesters of English at least. Actually, in Florida where I'm at, they do 4. And so 4 semesters of English, yeah, that's kind of nuts. But anyway, so what I do is we're going to be doing an intro to just how to write. And it's a lot of fun. So when I teach, so my first semester here at FAU, pre-pandemic, 2019, I was following the exact syllabus that was given to me by the writing program administrator, the WPA. And I don't mess with the WPA. I don't mess with the WPA today, but back then I was so new, didn't know anything, was terrified, had really bad anxieties. I was like, I will do exactly what you say. And it was really interesting. I was going through that syllabus, and for the most part, I did follow it exactly as the WPA said. But my second week in, it was kind of terrible. Second week in, they had to turn in a short writing assignment. They turned it in, and I discovered these kids could not write a paragraph. They had no clue. They didn't know what a paragraph was. They didn't know a paragraph structure. They did it, and I know their high school teachers taught it. My friends are high school teachers. I watch high school teacher vlogs on YouTube. So I know the high school teachers teach them, but for some reason, none of these kids, zero, okay? Even the kid, I'll get to that one later, maybe never. Anyway, so none of them knew how to write paragraphs. They didn't know how to do a topic sentence. They didn't know how to end it. And I was just like, oh, geez, we're screwed. What do I do now? How do I help these kids? And I sat back that weekend going like, if I continue doing what I'm doing, they're going to finish this semester and they're not going to know how to write a paragraph. And I was kind of very discouraged by that. Not just a little discouraged, I was really discouraged. And then, so I sat back and I was going like, okay, I know how to write a paragraph. I know how to teach kids how to write a paragraph. So I backtracked on a few things, rearranged a few things in the syllabus, just tiny little assignments, nothing big. And then I taught them how to write a paragraph. And then I kept teaching them how to write a paragraph. And so they learned how to write paragraphs. Most of the students, by the end of the semester, could write a really sharp paragraph. Okay, very nice. 2 or 3 kids never got it. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with it. In fact, one of those kids I see around campus, and he's like, I still hate you. We talk, but he's just like, I didn't understand. I still don't understand how to write paragraphs, but that's okay. He's a junior now, and he's mechanical engineering, and he's like, I'm never going to have to write again in my life, which is a lie. Anyway, so and then at the end of that semester, I learned the 3-part essay that they teach in high school is worthless. It does nothing. It's garbage. I never write them. But then I started college basically when I was an adult, and I taught myself how to write essays. And I taught myself that a different route. I went a different route. I actually looked up stuff. I learned about stuff from other books. My first year English courses were taught pre-computers. Now, I did it on typewriters. My first English class ever, I actually took when I was in the Army in South Korea in 1987. And I did most of my writing when I was, deployed, got dirt and mud on my papers, typed them out in foxholes, turned them in, and then started again in the mid-2000s and taught myself how to write essays. It's a different beast. And so when I finished college with my bachelor's degree, my method of writing essay, I didn't know, but now I know. It's completely different than what kids are using. They're using the stupid 3-step essay. You can't make a good argument with a 3-step essay. It's impossible. It's garbage. I don't know why they teach it. It's being taught. I can't deal with it other than teach them how to write essays so they can make an argument using proper argumentative structures, proper ways to set up evidence, proper ways to deploy evidence, and tell them you cannot turn in a 5-page paper with only 5 paragraphs. Say, I'm not going to accept that kind of garbage. And then I tell them how. I teach them how. So that's kind of the setup. So today what I was doing, so now I'm going to be starting my 7th semester of teaching English, and I'm really excited. And I have a pattern that I follow now. I do 4 essays during this semester, first, second, third, fourth essay. We use a textbook where the textbook has a bunch of readings in them, and then the students have to write to the readings. And most of my peers who are also doing the same thing, they've got completely different approaches on how to do it, and that's fine. I'm not here to teach them how to teach. But what I do is my first essay I teach where it's a 4-part essay. So it's an easy essay. It's for papers that are supposed to be between 3 to 4 pages long, and the order is very simple. So there's an introduction, there's a review of literature, there's some support paragraphs, then there is a conclusion. And that's what I do, and I teach that for the first month. For 4 weeks, we focus completely on that. We do all the syllabus garbage that the school makes us do. And I, give the little mini lessons on don't plagiarize because they'll throw you out. Which I've only had to deal with that once my entire time. I've had students who plagiarize, and I catch them, and then I just fail their paper, and then tell them, you don't want this F? Okay, fine, go rewrite the paper. And so then second paper, I teach them a 5-part essay, which is essentially the same thing, but except it has a section that you put counterclaims in, because the school wants them to use counterclaims. So I teach them how to deploy counterclaims appropriately in academic writing. This is for a little bit longer paper, so 5 pages, 5-6 pages. It works really good for that length. And then the last type of essay I teach is a 6-part essay, and I use it it's the form I use in my graduate level courses, and it's for papers that are anywhere from 7 to 20 pages long, and it works really good. It goes introduction, review of literature, then there's what I call the argument portion, where you lay out your argument completely, so you expand on what's going on in the introduction and in the review of literature, make your entire argument. Then you have all the support paragraphs that follow that, counterclaims, if there are any, or other voices, and other theories. And then I end with the conclusion, where I end my argument nice and tight, and it's a great form. I've been using that almost my entire adult life as a college student, and my papers are good papers. I get good grades. And I didn't know that's not what they teach. I have no idea, whatever. And so that's what I teach my kids. And then my last paper is a revision paper. So what we do with the revision paper is they could choose either the first or second paper, and then they have to do more research on it, do their own research as opposed to crap we give them, do their own research, and then with that research, then they go and they have to create this new paper. They have to revise it up. It has to be, between 7 to 8 pages long. And it has to be very academic, where the first two, they're usually pretty easygoing, because I'm telling them, I want you to keep your audience level to be basically your peers in class, where the audience for the final paper is for me and for professionals in the academic setting. And this approach works really good. And it produces really good papers. So that's what I do. And so today I've been sitting here on my can all day, rewriting how I do this. The new approaches, because I also want them to know how to outline. I want them to know how to plan a paper. I want them to know how to write an argument. And so I changed my first unit completely. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the essay that the English department wants me to have them read first. So the English department's going to say, Aaron, this is what we're going to have you read. I don't know what it is yet, but they're going to tell me which essay from their textbook they want these kids to read. So I'm going to say, okay, fine. They're going to go read this essay, and then instead of this time having them write about this essay, I'm going to have them reverse outline it. Kind of like reverse engineering, but reverse outline this paper, pull it apart so they can see what's happening, and then they're going to write their own essay, where they're going to be talking about who they are as a person and who they are as a student. Make the differentiation between student and person, and as a 4-part essay. So I'm going to have them, it's really simple. It's a short paper. It's only 4 pages long. It's going to have 4-part. We have to write an introduction, review of literature, where it's simply define terms. And I'm going to tell them which terms to define. And then there's review of literature, so not review of literature, support paragraphs. You're going to have support paragraphs that must include quotations. And then they're going to have their conclusion. And so the point of this exercise is so that they can see how a professional writer approaches. So they're going to, reverse engineer that one article. Then over on their side, I'm going to teach them how to use evidence that is meaningful to them as a person, whoever they are, what's important to them. So I'm going to have them pick, a quote from their favorite book, a quote from their favorite movie, a quote from their favorite song, okay, and then a photograph. And then the key terms, so they have to define terms. I'm going to say, you got to basically choose the key terms that are the most meaningful for you as who you are as a person, and you have to define those. And then we're going to string it together, and then I'm going to say, okay, now that you have these ideas, you have some quotes, you have a picture, you have the terms that you have to define, and so now we have to start to turn this into an essay about who you are as a person, and then I teach them how to write a basic argument. Basically an if-then statement, essentially. Nothing too difficult. And it's a fun, this if-then statement. And so it's kind of a fun way to approach it, and so they get a chance to write a paper that they're interested in writing, and at the same time they get to reverse engineer that professional written paper. So they're still analyzing that text the school wants them to read, but then at the same time, they're writing a paper that they're going to be more interested in writing themselves. And if they don't want to write about themselves, that's fine. I tell them, you got to write this paper, you know. And so they do. The first paper is always worth 10% of their grade. And so they write it. And usually that first paper, I've done similar things before, not quite to this extent, but similar things before. And the first paper is usually one of their better papers, because the third paper is very academic. The second paper is kind of straddles it. And so the first paper is usually pretty good. And so now that I'm now in the semesters I have, the class I have now, they're revising their first two papers. They have to revise the one they got the lowest score on. The students who are revising their first paper, their finals are turning out to be pretty amazing, and I'm pretty excited about it. They just turned in outlines, and it's really exciting. So today, I wrote this. It's kind of a rough draft for the unit, how I'm going to set up the unit. It was kind of nice, you know. And then this is a kind of a planning bubble map, you know. So I wrote that out, and that's pretty cool, you know. That's bubble mapping. So, and then by the way, I keep these. I show the kids as we go through. I said, hey, this is how I planned your semester, and I give an example. So I say, I got this, and then I show them this right here, which is kind of a rough draft, pre-outline, outline. And then I show them the final outline, and when I'm teaching how to outline, I show them all this stuff, so that they're going like, "Oh, I get it." And so the reason for this vlog is I'm kind of showing you, you know, just kind of discussing what happens in what I'm planning in the pre-planning section. So it's interesting. It's planning the semester that's going to come, and it's basically going to be my last semester teaching here at Florida Atlantic University. And so I'm still doing for the most part, what the WPA wants. I'm just foofing around with it a little bit, let's say. But I still follow the basic outline. Now there's some automated lessons. We use this stupid program called Achieve by Macmillan. It's garbage. I hope your institution never, ever, ever, ever uses it. It's complete garbage. I can't believe people are investing millions of dollars in it. But our institution is using it. And so there are some classes that the school says I have to have done through Achieve. And so the kids do the crap that's in Achieve. And then they have to turn in their homework and do their peer reviewing through Achieve, which, if there's only one positive of anything in Achieve, peer reviewing works pretty good in Achieve. Otherwise, nothing works in Achieve. Doesn't matter. I don't choose it. And I don't think my WPA chose it. I think some bureaucrat somewhere in the system is going like, yes, we're going to use Achieve by Macmillan, and you guys in the English department, you have to participate because that's where the textbook is going to be. And so make sure that you're utilizing all the tools. I could totally hear this sales monkey making this spiel to the WPA, who got her PhD in rhetoric, who is brilliant and is being told to use this program designed by people who obviously don't know what it means to write. And I don't think ever taught writing in a collegiate setting, because nothing is good. It's all just pure garbage. Hopefully your institution is not using it. Anyway, there we go. That's just the way it is. So, there we are. Thanks so much for watching. It's basically what I'm going to be teaching this class in a month. I'm going to start teaching this class, about 6 weeks, so 6 weeks before day one. It'll be fun. Thanks for watching my vlog. You guys have fun.